What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
What's crack-a-lack-a-lackin', everybody? Welcome into the episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleaze. Today, we're going to be diving into the Week 11 start-sit running backs every single matchup. I'm going to give you the breakdown of points against allowed, rushing yards allowed, receiving yards allowed to the running back, touchdown, the touchdown upside in the game, the point differential, the game scripts, how I like those as well. I'm going to give you green for a start. Yellow will go high end, low end, flex. I still need to change the design for it. I just haven't had time, but I'll break it down as we go through it. And then red is going to be a sit, guys. As always, if you guys haven't already, smash that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on. Helps me out a ton. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support this season. So we hit 6,000 subs earlier this week, which is absolutely insane. The best community in fantasy football. And if you guys have any questions, doesn't have to pertain to this video, drop them down below. I try to answer every single one of them for you guys. And if you guys haven't checked out the sponsor, drafters.com, make sure you check out the link if you guys want to sign up, do some best ball drafts, pick'ems, DFS, everything like that with us. And then over here is the guys FF Discord that I run with Big Draft Energy, who he'll be live after me tonight. I'll be live at 6 p.m. Eastern, then he goes live, and we cover every single question. If you guys can't make the show, again, drop it down below. Now let's dive into the running backs that are going to win you your matchups that you should be starting or sitting in Week 11. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my running back start 'em sit 'em board. Green at the top, yellow flex play. Again, I'll put it in between the yellow and the green for a high-end flex play, in between the yellow and the red for a low-end flex play. We're going to start off with Thursday Night Football, but I'll show you what I mean here before in case you're new in here. And I need to change the graphics. I will do it at some point here. So like Breece Hall, right? I like him as a flex play now. If I liked him as a high-end, he'd be there. Low-end, he'd be there, right? But I do like him as a flex play. So, and then away team at the top, home team at the bottom. Now, let's just dive in right here. Thursday Night Football. Tonight, the New York Jets, 2-7, headed into the 8-2 Patriots. 42.5 over under. New England is favored by 12.5 in this game. And good God, it is going to be a brutal matchup for Breece Hall on the ground, right? So the New England Patriots defense has just been Mike Vrabel culture, lights out. They haven't allowed a single running back all year long to get even 50 yards on the ground in a game, which is unbelievable. They rank fourth versus the running back, get up 17.46, 575 yards on the ground, which is number one in the NFL, 2 rushing touchdowns, which is number 2 behind the LA Rams, have only allowed 1, and then 381 yards through the air. So that's the only reason I like Breece Hall as a flex play this week. Kind of like the Cleveland Browns last week, which I didn't really like him, but he got that busted play touchdown, right? Where he got the receiving, caught the screen, and the blocking was absolutely perfect, and the guy missed, and he scored, right? So when you look at this game, this could be game script where they just blow him out. The New England Patriots could mop the floor with the Jets, and he could get a lot of garbage time receiving work. And again, I haven't seen the update if it's going to be Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor yet, but either way, this defense is so good. They're number 10 across the board in every single position except for the tight end. This is a phenomenal defense. Oh, my Travion Henderson. Listen to me now. Focus in, right here. Focus in, okay? If you own Travion Henderson and you are not starting this guy in fantasy football tonight, you are out of your goddamn mind. You saw last week versus Tampa Bay, which is a way better defense than the New York Jets, that he put up 28 fantasy points. And the guy is so goddamn fast that he could look back at his coach and ask him if he needs to score or not. That is how good this man is. I can't believe it took Vrabel so long to figure it out. And Ramondre Stevenson is ruled out. Now, when you look at the New York Jets run D, right? It's kind of like my San Francisco 49ers, except they're not injured like we are. Their defense was good versus the run. They traded away their number 1 DT. They traded away Sauce Gardner. They're going to get gashed by the run, and game scripts are going to kill them because their offense is not going to move the ball that well, and they have no Garrett Wilson as well. So when you look at the defense here, they rank 15th, giving up 21.7, but that number is going to drop drastically by the end of the season. 941 rushing yards, and they've allowed, 6 TDs and 193 and 3 touchdowns through the air, 9 total touchdowns and about 1,200 yards here. So you're already looking at like 100 rush plus receiving, which is exactly what Travion Henderson line is at right now on all the apps if you're a betting man. And my goodness, guys, Travion Henderson, I have him at RB9. He's in my top 10. Get this guy into every single lineup. If you don't, you're going to regret it big time. Heading down to Madrid, Spain, where the Washington Commanders at 3-7 will be taking on the Miami Dolphins at 3-7 at the 6:30 a.m. Eastern game. 47.5 over under. Miami is favored by 2.5. And this game has some sneaky upside here. Hang on. Man, we do these like 45-minute recordings. My voice always goes kind of hoarse, and I'm cranking through them. So grab something to drink. Let's lock in here. So the Commanders, right? And this matchup is going to be sneaky for me. So I know that Chris Rodriguez had a touchdown last week. Then he popped his shoulder and he came out of the game. And then we get an update that he's going to be playing this week and practiced in full. So you're going to see a Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Chris Rodriguez kind of split here in this game. And I do like them both as low-end kind of sleeper flex plays if you need. Like, I don't like to start them over RB2s or anything like that. But the Miami Dolphins defense is terrible versus the run. They rank 25th. They give up 24.6, 1,126 rush yards, which is second worst in the NFL. They've also given up 50 receptions for 392 yards through the air. So you're looking at 1,500 total yards that they've given up to the running back already. And they give it another touchdown through the air as well. So the opportunity is going to be here in bunches in this game for them. It just depends on how the game script kind of goes. They don't really have a receiving back. Maybe McNichols is there, but I don't really like even to bring him up as a possible option to start here. And, of course, Austin Eckler's season is over. Boom, bada, bum, 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 bum. Devon A-Chain, like I said last week, if you didn't have him in your starting lineup versus the Buffalo Bills, he's going to destroy them. He's my RB2 on the week this week. He is going to absolutely crush the Washington Commanders defense that ranks 23rd. They give up 24 points a game to the running back. 1,076 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns, 363 through the air, so 1,400 total yards, 3 touchdowns through the air as well, 10 total touchdowns on the season just to the running back position. And this man is electric as it gets. Never sit my guy, Devon the Hurricane. The 5-5 Carolina Panthers are headed into the 3-6 Dirty Bird Atlanta Falcons here. The over-under 41.5. Atlanta is favored by 3.5 in this game. Big division game that the Atlanta Falcons need to win big time. So when you're looking at this matchup here, Rico Dowdle, how can you ever sit this man right now? He is on an absolute mission. And what's crazy is they paid Chuba Hubbard and just phased him out, which is just a Carolina Panther thing to do if you ever had one. So when you look at this matchup, and the Atlanta Falcons are just getting crushed by the running back, Jonathan Taylor just dropped a 50 burger on him. So when you're looking at the defense here, you know it's going to be very bad. They rank 4th worst versus the running back, giving up 26.5 points per game, 1,052 yards on the ground, 7 rushing touchdowns, 286 through the air, 1,300 total yards, and 11 touchdowns. And we're in week 11. That's a touchdown a game. That's the average you want. And Rico Dowdle has been on absolute fire. He is going to be a monster smash start for me this week. And on to the Falcons side, man. Like this, if you ever heard, and I've never heard in fantasy football that there's a buy low window for Bijan Robinson. Not like he's attainable by the owner that has him, but that's where we're at right now. I don't know what the hell the Atlanta Falcons are doing. Probably why their record is 3-6 is because they're not fucking using, excuse me for the language, the superstar running back Bijan Robinson. That's how pissed I am. I'm just going to drop some cuss bombs on here. And Tyler Allgeier's getting both touchdowns last game for 17 points. I can't make it make sense. This guy is so goddamn good at football. I don't know what the Falcons are doing, but you're still starting him no matter what. So when you look at the matchup here, the Panthers were like at the beginning of the season top versus the running back or top 10. They've dropped down now to 16. They've been getting smashed by the run more and more here because their offense isn't producing enough to move the ball to keep their defense healthy on the sideline, or not healthy on the sideline, not tired on the sideline. So they give up 21 or 22 points a game. 977 on the ground, 6 rushing touchdowns, 278 through the air, so about 1250, and 2 touchdowns through the air as well, so 8 total touchdowns. I mean, am I really going to be like saying that Bijan is a flex start next week? What the hell are we doing, Atlanta? Give this man 20-plus touches a game, 30-plus if you need to. This is how you win. Give Bijan Robinson the football for the love of God. The game I'm going to be glued to, the 6-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading into the 6-3 Buffalo Bills, 48.5 over under. Buffalo is favored by 5.5 in this game. And it's going to be a little interesting breakdown here because we've got news that Bucky Irving has practiced twice here. So again, we don't know if he's going to be out there. I would kind of predict a week 11 return, right, for Bucky Irving. But if he's out here, I'm starting this guy, right? So you need to be paying attention to the injury updates here. So it's going to be a little different breakdown here, right? So again, if Bucky's starting, I'm sitting Rachaad White and I'm sitting Sean Tucker. But let's just say, for instance, that Bucky is not starting, okay? Which I don't think he's going to be out there this week, but there's a possibility he could. This is a very big game. So if he's not starting, then I like Rachaad White and Sean Tucker both as low-end flex plays. Not Rachaad White as a flex play or a high-end flex play like you think he's going to be showing in the projections, because they've alluded to Sean Tucker seeing more touches in this game if Bucky Irving is out. So the touchdown upside is going to lie with Sean Tucker with the red zone work. The receiving work will lie with Rachaad White. So they're both low-end flex plays for me, again, if Bucky is out. And if Bucky is not out there, and again, he's practiced twice, then of course, I'm going Bucky as an absolute smash start the minute he hits the field, no matter what. Now, onto the Bills side. Oh, wait. Well, before that, let's look at the Bills defense. Sorry, I was breaking that down so much I forgot. And the Bills versus the run, guys. They ranked 26, giving up 25.5, 1,055 yards, 12 rushing touchdowns, the worst in the NFL. That's 32nd, 214 through the air, so about, 1,270 yards total. So over 100 yards a game they're averaging to the running back. But again, it's going to be a split backfield if Bucky's out. Now onto the James Cook side. This is like Bijan Robinson, man. And I know James Cook has had better games than Bijan recently, but Joe Brady's got to figure this out. I don't know what the hell the Bills offense is doing. And now you're down Dalton Kincaid. It's time to lean on James Cook even more. And you just saw what Travion Henderson did to them. This should be a James Cook explosion game here. And I had him as freaking RB1 versus Miami, and he choked, and I missed big time there. So you're still not sitting James Cook. But, man, the Bills' offense is really starting to worry me here. They do not look good. They got to figure it out. They got to right the ship. And you're going up against Tampa Bay, and they rank 24th versus the running back, giving up 24 points a game. And they're very good in between the tackles. They allow 723 rushing yards, which is top 5. Where do they get beat? They're number 1 worst through the air with 470 allowed and 1 touchdown. That's the number 1 yardage allowed to receiving. So James Cook should eat in both versions here. So, God, the Bills just got to turn this around, man. But if Bucky's out there, I'm starting him. If James Cook, I'm always starting him. The 4-5 Texans coming off that big win versus the Jacksonville Jaguars last week, led by QB1 on the week. Davis Mills are headed into the 1-8, falling apart Tennessee Titans. The over-under is 37.5. Houston is favored by 6.5 in this game. And we've got a change of the guard, it looks like, according to the updates today, that Woody Marks is going to take the bell cow role here. We obviously don't know about Joe Mixon, and that's why I told you guys not to draft him all year long. Nick Chubb, we know the wheels are falling off with his old age here. And the matchup here is going to be beautiful. You get the Tennessee Titans, who rank 28th versus the running back, giving up 26 points a game, 1,029 yards on the ground, 12 touchdowns, tied for dead last with the Buffalo Bills. Upside is there in bunches for the touchdown. 189 through the air, so 1,200 total yards and 2 touchdowns through the air, which is 14 touchdowns, over a touchdown plus per game to the running back. I know the Texans have a bad offensive line, and, Davis Mills is going to look like he's going to be the quarterback again here. But game script-wise, let's just look at this. Texans defense is going to chew up Cam Ward. They're going to have so many opportunities offensively that you have to love Woody Marks as a start this week. On to the Titans side. I told you to sell high on Tony Pollard when you had a chance. That chance is gone. He is done. I am not starting him. We just got the update as well that Tyjae Spears is going to see more work in this game than Tony Pollard. So this is why I was trying to buy Tyjae Spears the whole time. So I was trying to tell you guys to buy Tyjae Spears. But it's going to be a very, very rough matchup. The Houston Texans defense is lights out. They rank number 9 versus the running back, giving up 19.7. They've given up 660 rushing yards, which is second best in the NFL. So it's going to have to be done through the air for Tyjae Spears. And they've also given up 241 through the air and a touchdown through the air. And they've given up 8 rushing touchdowns on the ground. So, again, this offense is going to be absolutely putrid. I mean, Tony Pollard's not running in between the tackles. If anything, Tyjae Spears gets it done PPR, playing from behind or kind of receiving game work for him, because this Texans defense is like top across the board, top 10 in every category. They're damn good. So Cam Ward's in for a nightmare game, probably playing from behind, even with Davis Mills at quarterback, and I expect, Tyjae Spears to get the receiving work. But I really don't love it as I gotta be true to myself here as we're going through. It's kind of a low end flex play for me with Tyjae Spears, not a solid flex play. So Woody Mark starting, Tony Pollard benching, Tyjae Spears low end flex play. The on-fire comeback-winning Chicago Bears, led by Caleb Williams at 6-3, are headed into Minneapolis, Minnesota to take on the 4-5 Minnesota Vikings, led by J.J. McCarthy, who's playing terrible football. The over-under is 48.5. Minnesota's favored by 3.5 in this game. I can't make that make sense here. Now, on the Bears side, I have Manunjai for an anytime TD last week. I also said that his rushing prop was my lock. Missed on that one big time. That was the first miss of the week, or first miss of the year on my locks of my number one lock, which that sucked. And DeAndre Swift was the guy. I thought we'd see, what the coaches said, ride the hot hand, more work. He went right back to DeAndre Swift. So when you look at the matchup here versus the Minnesota Vikings, they're good versus the run, man. They rank 11th. They give up 19.9 points a game, 933 on the ground, 6 rushing touchdowns only, which is top 10. 196 through the air and no touchdowns through the air. This is a very, very good run D, but I do expect, DeAndre Swift to at least deliver flex value. I don't really have him and this is what happens when you're going live straight through the whole video. DeAndre Swift, I have as a flex play, not a high-end flex play. It's a very, very tough matchup here. Manunjai got phased out, so I'm not even thinking about flexing him. It was a lucky anytime TD last week call anyways with how it went. And Roshan Johnson, I could honestly just get rid of at this point. I don't even think let's just do it now. He's not even getting any work. Now, onto the Viking side. This has just been a nightmare. So, Jordan Mason, your goal line back, you got to get to the goal line to use him, so you don't even get to see him with how bad they've been. Aaron Jones looked okay, didn't see a ton of work, and people are kind of riding high because he had a good game. The matchup is great here. The Chicago Bears run defense right now, they currently are ranking 20th right now, giving up 20.3 points per game, 915 on the ground, 5 rushing touchdowns, 287 through the air, and 3 touchdowns through the air. So 8 total TDs and about 1,300 total yards in 11 games. Or in 10 games. So you're looking at, like 120 plus for the running back to give up a game, or maybe more than that mathematically, maybe 130. So the split is kind of like how the offense is going to go. And the Chicago Bears defense is beat up across the board. So I really want to put Jordan Mason as a low-end flex pick because I think he has touchdown upside. But I just can't do it with how J.J. McCarthy has been looking. So I know they're back at home. Maybe that helps out here. And I'm hoping, J.J. number 9 can lock in this game here because he might be getting benched here soon of how bad he's been, man. I mean, Justin Jefferson was frustrated as hell last game with the 12 targets that weren't even close to him. So Aaron Jones, I'm going as a high-end flex play. Jordan Mason sitting, can't trust him right now, and DeAndre Swift is a flex play for me. The 5-3-1 Green Bay Packers need a bounce-back win here, and it's going to happen versus the 2-8 New York Giants at MetLife Stadium. 41.5 over under. Green Bay favored by 7.5 in this game, and it's going to be led by Jameis Winston on the New York Giants side. Now, Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, I'm not touching either one of these running backs. Do not even like them as a low-end flex play. Do not care, especially when the Green Bay Packers are coming off that loss last week, man. So they're going to come out just guns blazing versus the Giants. Jameis Winston, I think, is going to throw a ton of picks, or he's either going to have a 30-point game because that's how he always goes. And Green Bay's number 6 versus the running back. They only give up 18 points a game, 723 on the ground. That's top 10. 4 touchdowns allowed. That's top 5. 238 through the air and no touchdowns through the air. That's 4 touchdowns in the season, and we're in week 11. It's a damn good run defense. I am not starting either one of them. Josh Jacobs, guys, this is probably legacy game here coming for Josh Jacobs. Probably 20 plus, 30, maybe 30 points in this game. The New York Giants give up 27 points to the running back a game. That ranks 30th. That's third worst in the NFL. 1,197 rush yards. That is second worst behind the Cincinnati Bengals. 322 yards through the air. 1,500 total yards through 10 weeks. And 3 touchdowns with 9 on the ground. That's 12 total touchdowns. And Jacobs is like, what, 16 out of 17 games with a touchdown? You're never sitting Josh Jacobs. Let's be real. The all-systems green game, old veteran quarterback, 40-year-old battle. Cincinnati Bengals at 3-6. This is kind of their must-win game here versus the 5-4 Pittsburgh Steelers, 48.5. Pittsburgh is favored by 5.5 in this game. And Chase Brown has been absolutely electric now that Joe Flacco has been the quarterback and you've got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and the defenses have to be honest and just can't stack the box against them like they did with Jake Browning. So it's opened up a ton for Chase Brown, even in the receiving game as well. You're going to get the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And yes, they've been getting better as a defense. I got to give them that at least. So versus the running back, they are only giving up 18.8. They are number 8. 823 on the ground, only 4 touchdowns on the ground. That's top 5. 256 through the air, so about 1,050 total yards. And they've given up 1 touchdown through the air as well. So only 5 touchdowns they've given up. But I don't care because I'm targeting this game as a shootout just like it was last time. And I had Joe Flacco and I had Aaron Rodgers, both of my top 10 quarterbacks last time, and they both dropped 30 points. I have them there again because this is going to be another shootout game in my opinion. So when we go to the Steelers side here, oh my God, if you're sitting Jaylen Warren, you're crazy. This is like a Travion Henderson moment. And Jaylen Warren just got the update as well that he's going to be getting the bell cow usage now. They've cut out Kenneth Gainwell. You know, Caleb Johnson saw like 2 carries. I don't know why they're not even giving him more work. But it's going to be the Jaylen Warren show here. And the matchup is the best in the NFL. You get the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 32nd, dead last versus the running back. 33.4 points per game they give up. And just to give you how it looks for the team behind them is the Dallas Cowboys with an average of 26. They're averaging 7 more points than the worst team behind them per game against the running back. That is terrible. Jaylen Warren should not be sitting by any single means on any single roster this week. They give up 1,270 rushing yards, also dead last for the Bengals. 6 rushing touchdowns, 400 yards through the air. That's 1,670 yards, and we're in week 11. And 4 touchdowns through the air, so that's 9 touchdowns on the ground, 4 through the air. That's 13 total touchdowns and almost 1,700 yards. How are you not starting Jaylen Warren? This is like a Travion Henderson. You're starting these guys no matter what. If you ask me a question, I'm going to say Jaylen Warren. The 7-3 Harbaugh-led Chargers are headed into Duval County to take on the 5-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. 43.5 over/under. Chargers only favored by 2.5, which is kind of crazy to me in this game with how the Jaguars looked last week versus the Texans. But I guess they still have a winning record, so they give it to them. Now, I messed up the home and away. Chargers should be at the top. They should be away. But Kamani Vidal. So the Chargers have a bye next week, guys. So if you're a smart fantasy football person, you try and sell high right now because the man Amari in Hampton is going to be back after the bye. And he shedded his boot and was even trying to practice limited this week. So make sure you're paying attention to that as well here. Now, when you're looking at Kamani Vidal's matchup here versus the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the run, they're damn good. They're number 9. They give up 19.7, 645 yards on the ground. That's second best in the NFL. That's how good the Jacksonville run D has been. 3 rushing touchdowns. That's third best in the NFL. 366 through the air is where they get beat, though, and 3 touchdowns through the air. So the receiving work is there for Vidal, but the game script, you don't know how it's going to go. I really think the Chargers dominate this game. So I'm a lot lower on Kamani Vidal than most this week, but actually he does have the touchdown upside when they get to the red zone. But I'm going to go low-end flex play for Vidal. And I know people are, once he has a big week, everyone thinks to start him again. It's going to be a different matchup here. The Jaguars' defense is a lot better. So on the Jaguars side, Travis Etienne, I'm going to put as a flex play. I don't like as an auto start for him this week. The Chargers' defense has been getting better and better since Khalil Mack and they got a couple of healthy players back. They rank 14th, giving up 20.5, 832 on the ground. That's top 10. 8 touchdowns on the ground and 312 through the air, and no touchdowns there as well. So everyone that thought Byshell Tootin was going to come in and take this guy's job, you were out of your mind. Travis Etienne has actually been solid. You know, he got the score last week as well in a very tough matchup versus the Texans' number 1 run D, or like not number 1 run D, I think in points per game. Hang on, Texans are number 9, but they went down a lot. So he can beat tough matchups. I just, for some reason, I'm not as high as a start here because, well, I mean, let's change it back here. You will get BTJ back and possibly Brenton Strange. So that may help the run game even more because they've had no one out there last week besides Parker Washington pretty much. So there's that as well. And he still scored versus a tough defense. So I still like Etienne as like a flex start. It's just Trevor Lawrence is starting to worry me, man. It's very, very scary. And on the Kamani Vidal side, I'm low-end flex play for him. And get ready for the Amari and Hampton show down the stretch, baby. The big 7-2 NFC West battle between the Seattle Seahawks that are headed into the Los Angeles Rams. What a game this is going to be here, as I messed it up completely. So when I'm looking at the Seattle Seahawks running back, and I told you guys this all year long, man, Kenneth Walker, when you draft him at value, is not going to be the better value ROI, return on investment pick than Zach Charbonnet. And that's what we're seeing. And I'll explain it, I guess, like this. Like, if you watch the last 2 games, Kenneth Walker's looked like the better running back. He just doesn't get the goal line work. And then they've blown out the past two teams up by like 25 plus, and you're seeing Halani get touchdowns. So I got to go with both of them as low-end flex plays. At best, they're going up against the number one run D in the Los Angeles Rams that have only allowed one rushing touchdown on the year. They've only allowed 659 yards, which is number 3, 282 through the air, and a touchdown through the air. I mean, they're worse in the air statistically, percentage-wise, than on the ground. So Kenneth Walker's the better receiving back, so maybe he has better upside than Charbonnet in this game. And I don't think it's going to be a blowout game here either, where the Seattle Seahawks are up by 20. You know, this is going to be a game where they need their studs. So, and it's kind of like the same situation here on the LA Rams side. So people are starting to post all the Blake Corum stuff. And yeah, he's getting a lot more touches, but Blake Corum is getting those touches because the Rams have been dominating the game script that's going on. And I think the Rams are trying to save Kyren Williams for down the stretch, which is smart. This is a game that there's too much on the line here. This is home field advantage. This is NFC West. This is playoffs. Big, big game. This is going to be where you see more of Kyren Williams 100%. And when you're looking at the Seattle Seahawks defense versus the run, they're also very good. And they got healthy in the secondary too. They ranked 13th, giving up 20.3, 601 yards on the ground. That's a ridiculous number. They've also given up 407 through the air and 2 touchdowns through the air. So Kyren Williams can get it done through the air. We know that as well. And I feel like this is going to be your 80% where Kyren Williams is dominating the snap share 80-20 instead of 60-40 like it's been, because it's too big of a game here. And you know he's going to get a touchdown in the red zone when they get in there, because Devontae Adams is starting to draw just too much attention with all of his red zone looks. It's going to open it up even more for Kyren Williams. And I'm never sitting this guy if I own Kyren. But on the Seattle side, it's just a nightmare, man. If you own one of them and they pop, honestly, at this point, it's like sell one. My 6-4 San Francisco 49ers, who got the Brock Purdy boy back, it looks like, and Ricky Pearsall back as well. And you know Christian McCaffrey. When are you ever going to sit this man? I don't care what the matchup is. I don't care who it is. He was my comeback player of the year, my must-draft running back this year when it all started, and that's just 49er biased. I like the year off with the Achilles injuries, and it has come to fruition in bunches. So when you look at the Arizona Cardinals, they ranked 20th, giving up 22.3 points, 872 on the ground, 8 touchdowns, 224 through the air, so about 1,100 yards, and 10 total touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey for an anytime touchdown is an absolute lock for me in this game, especially when you get Ricky Pearsall back as well. Now we're going to have the trio. We're just missing Ayuk, who I don't even know if Ayuk's going to play this year, but you're never sitting Christian McCaffrey. That's very, very simple. On the Arizona Cardinals side, it looks like we might not get Trey Benson back this week after all, like they said with week 11. So I put Trey Benson as and I said during the smash start video, if he's out there, I like him as a smash start. With DeMercado, I don't like it. So I like him as a low-end flex play. I know he's kind of taking the smaller role on here with it, but or smaller role than the rest of the running backs between Bam Knight and Michael Carter. And, you know, James Conner's season was over early. So the 49er defense is beat up. They are. We have Nick Bosa out. We got Michael Williams out. That's our number one pick in the draft. Superstar DN, Bosa, done. Fred Warner, number one linebacker in football, are done. And our defense has been getting worse. But I just don't think with Marvin Harrison being out, I think the box is going to be a lot more stacked, and Trey McBride is going to be the focal point. So I think it's going to be a lot less of a game here for DeMercado. But if you need a low-end flex play, I'm okay with it, because our defense has dropped drastically in the rankings. We've dropped to 21. We were top 5 when the season started. 22.31 points per game, 917 on the ground, 6 rushing touchdowns, 314 through the air, so almost 1,230 yards in total, and 3 touchdowns through the air with 9 total touchdowns. But I just don't trust DeMercado as the guy. I don't trust the Cardinals. I don't trust anything I see from them. So it's more of like a dart play for me with him if you want to, because I think the 49ers are going to come out rumbling with Brock Purdy in this game. But has the Cardinals offense looked better with Jacoby Brissett? It has. But now you have no Marvin Harrison. You got Michael Wilson as your one. Trey McBride, I know he's going to eat, but still, I don't like the Cardinals players in this game besides Trey McBride. That's pretty much it. The AFC West dog pound, hard-hitting grunge fest of the Baltimore Ravens at 4-5 on a 3-game win streak are headed into Cleveland, Ohio to take on the 2-7 Browns at a 39.5 over-under in a game where Lamar Jackson is your quarterback. That's how you know it's going to be a bloodbath, hard-hitting game. Baltimore is favored by 7.5 in this game. And this is an all-system green game starting for me here. Now, I know Derrick Henry hasn't been the Derrick Henry that we thought we were going to get this year. And the Cleveland Browns run defense is absolutely phenomenal, okay? They rank third. They give up 16.7 points, 711 yards, top 5 in rushing yards, 3 touchdowns only on the ground, which is also top 5. And they've given up 187 and 1 touchdown through the air. But you got to look at this game. Like, I know it doesn't look good on paper, but you got to look at the game script wise here, right? The Baltimore Ravens defense has gotten better because their quarterback is back and they've been able to get healthy, and they're not healthy. They've been able to get time off. When they had Cooper Rush out there, they're just playing 3 and out, and getting tired. So when you look at their defensive ranks, they're a lot worse because they missed their star quarterback. So Derrick Henry is going to have probably 20-plus touches in this game, touchdown upside in the red zone. Even though it's a very ugly matchup, I'm still starting him based on game script that I like here. Now, Quinshon Judkins, I'm going to put as a start as well here because the Baltimore Ravens have been struggling versus the run. They rank 27th. They give up 25.6 points per game, 872 on the ground, 9 rushing touchdowns, 334 through the air. So about 1,200 yards in total, 2 touchdowns through the air, 11 total touchdowns. We're in week 11, so you got over a touchdown a game, and the Ravens have had their bye, so it's probably like 1.3, 1.4 a game. And Quinshon Judkins looks the part. They just need to get a goddamn quarterback out there, and I don't know what they're waiting on. Put in Shadur Sanders. We've seen enough of Dylan Gabriel. It's not looked good. So last week versus the Jets, man, I know that they had that game kind of won, but the Jets sold everything, and they still won the game. It's super ugly. So Quinshon Judkins and Derrick Henry both going to be starts for me this week. The 5-4 Chiefs are headed into Mile High Stadium to take on the 8-2 Broncos, over under 44.5. And the Chiefs are favored by 3.5 versus an 8-2 team at home, which just tells you how much you know the Chiefs are going to win this game. Just kidding. We don't know that yet. But when we're looking at this game, on the Chiefs side, man, monster mistake not sending the 3rd-round draft pick for Breece Hall. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco not practicing, looks like he's not going to be out there. Yeah, they've said Brashard Smith will be more involved. And Kareem Hunt's probably your best bet for a goal line touchdown, which is the only reason I have him as a low-end flex play, and I do not love it by any means. But when you have a high-powered offense like the Chiefs, they're going to get down there a lot. And there's no Patrick Surtain. You know Rashee Rice is going to feast in this game as well. So there will be red zone opportunities where you will know that Kareem Hunt's going to get a chance to score. So if you need a dart flex throw, low-end flex play, I do like Kareem Hunt. The matchup is not great by any means. The Denver Broncos are number 5 versus the running back, 18 points a game, 780 yards on the ground, top 10, 5 touchdowns allowed on the ground, that's top 10, 294 through the air and 3 touchdowns, so about 1,100 yards in total and about 8 touchdowns they've given up. And again, Kareem Hunt's the only one I would even think about here, and even though they've said that Brashard Smith will see more usage, I got to see it before I even trust that at all, and I think Kareem Hunt's your only guy for touchdown upside here. On to the Denver Broncos side. Looks like J.K. Dobbins might be heading to IR with that hip drop tackle from last week. And we just got the update that R.J. Harvey is going to be elevated into the starting role. And it's not a great matchup either, but I do have this gut feeling that we have a shootout game here. And I said that in my QB video as well, which is why I even like Bo Nix in this game as well, even though he's Mr. Inconsistent. And the Kansas City Chiefs, this is 2 great run defenses. The Chiefs are number 7 versus the run. They give up 18.7, 699 on the ground. That's top 5. 4 rushing touchdowns. That's top 5. 303 through the air. So about, 1,000 yards on the dot and 5 total touchdowns to give it to the running back. But what you've seen from R.J. Harvey when he gets the chance is just electric. This man is like a Travion Henderson type game breaker. All he needs is a little space and he's gone. So now that he's going to get more usage, just the upside that he carries alone, regardless of the matchup, because how explosive he is, he becomes a start because this man can take anything to the house instantly with his speed, elusive ability, vision, everything. I love RJ Harvey. And I don't like the matchup at all. I just think that he's going to be absolutely electric in this game, and he's going to get it done through the air and on the ground. And he possibly could be a 20-plus point play in a very, very tough matchup. 6-3 Lions are headed into Philadelphia Lincoln Financial Field to take on the 7-2 Eagles. And this is a big, big playoff implication game. Home field possibility here as well. The over-under is 49.5. The over-under is 46.5, and Philly is favored by 2.5 in this game. And this is that Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley. I know Saquon hasn't been the Saquon of 2024, but you're still not sitting these guys, man. So when I look at Jahmyr Gibbs, always a start, no matter what. Saquon Barkley, always a start, no matter what when he's healthy, even though he's been kind of struggling this year. And David Montgomery, for me, does he have the chance to punch one in if they get down to the red zone? For sure. That's why he's a low-end flex play for me. And it's a tough matchup, like very, very tough here for Saquon Barkley. We'll look at the Eagles here first. The Detroit Lions are number 2 versus the running back. They give up 16.4 points, 646 on the ground, which is top 3. 5 touchdowns on the ground. That's also top 5. 197 yards to the air, 197 yards to the air, and 0 touchdowns through the air. So not a great matchup by any means, but it's Saquon Barkley. I'm not sitting him. And when you go to the Philadelphia Eagles side, the Detroit Lions side versus Eagles, it is a plus matchup. The Eagles have been bad versus the run. They rank 22nd, giving up 22.8, 790 on the ground, 8 touchdowns on the ground. 790 on the ground is not bad on the ground, by the way, but 319 through the air with 3 touchdowns, which Jahmyr Gibbs thrives at, is where their weakness is at. So they give up about 1,280 yards in the season and about 11 touchdowns, which is 1 per game. And I mean, it's just let Jahmyr Gibbs be Jahmyr Gibbs one time. Like get David Montgomery, just trade him, man, or something. I want to see this guy just break fantasy football because that's how good this man is. It's just limited cap size with a couple Montgomery carries here and then red zone work, and this guy would absolutely destroy fantasy football. Jahmyr Gibbs is just one of my favorite players to watch. Last but not least, Monday Night Football, all systems green running back game here. The 3-5-1 Dallas Cowboys need to win bad on the road in Las Vegas, taking on the Raiders at 49.5 over under a high implied points on the game because they think the Cowboys are going to score 30 plus, just like I do. So the Raiders are 2-7 as well, and their season is absolute shambles, but they have one shining bright light, and that would be Ashton Jeanty. And we're talking about the Raiders first. And since the bye, when they said that they're going to give him a full workload, he's been playing 90% of the snaps. This man has been absolutely solid. I didn't really like him versus Denver, even though he punched one in last week and then had a tough outing after it. They're going to ride the back of Ashton Jeanty because they traded Jacoby Myers. They got Jack Beck and Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton out there at wide receiver. It's not great. So everyone's going to focus in on Brock Bowers. We know that. You saw that last week with the Broncos and how bad Brock Bowers played. Now, when you're looking at the matchup versus the Cowboys, yes, they're 31st versus the running back. That's second worst in the NFL, giving up 27 points a game. They've given up astronomical numbers, guys, like very, very bad. So 993 rushing yards, 411 passing yards, so 1,400 yards pretty much in total, and we're in week 11. They've given up 7 rushing touchdowns and 3 receiving touchdowns, which is 10. But they did sign Quentin Williams from the Jets. Their defense did get better. They're getting Overshown back, their outside linebacker that was on IR from the beginning of the year. They got Logan as well on the D-line in the trade before the trade deadline, and they're getting their nickel cornerback as well. So the defense will be better. The Ashton Jeanty usage is just too much not to sit around. It's absolutely bonkers. He's Elite 1 usage, like Jonathan Taylor usage. Cowboys said Javonte Williams, easy smash call here. The game script is going to lead to so many possessions for the Dallas Cowboys here. The Las Vegas Raiders run D ranks 18th, giving up 21.1, 778 on the ground, 9 touchdowns on the ground, 233 through the air, so about 1,000 total yards and 0 touchdowns. They've actually been good for the receiving side, but when you have CeeDee Lamb, Pickens, Jake Ferguson, and Dak Prescott, they're going to be down the field. He's going to get so many red zone touches. I mean, I think he's number 4 in the NFL in red zone touches right now, which is why he's got 8 touchdowns on the year on the ground. And Javonte Williams has to be a start in this game. Ashton Jeanty has to be a start in this game. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That's the end of the episode. That is every single running back, every single matchup that I like statistically to start, sit, or possibly flex this week to help you guys. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, as always, drop them down below. I try to get to every single one of them. If you haven't already, tap the thumbs up, hit the subscription button, turn the ding bell on so you know when I'm live, and I'll be live tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern. And then tomorrow we'll do some drafts, some best ball drafts, daily DFS, stuff like that. And then Sunday, we'll do the start, sit show on Sunday, the big one. And then Monday night will be our recap where we look where we were right, where we were wrong at every single thing, and then look at Monday Night Football, guys. If you guys haven't checked out drafters.com or the Discord, the Guys FF, again, both those are pinned in the comments and in the description of the video. My next video, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the wide receiver or tight end start sits out, so I'll say it like right now. So if you guys made it to the end of the video, you made it this far, I think I'll get wide receivers, but we'll go tight end. So I'm starting Hunter Henry tonight, and I do like Mason Taylor as a sneaky flex play. If you need a tight end, because that's where the New England Patriots struggle is tight end. So I think I'll get wide receivers out, so I'll save that for the video. But I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I'll catch you guys in the next episode, which will be my wide receiver stardom sit-em. Sleazebum out. Thanks for listening.